I want to know. I want to take it from the beginning because I know you're in Arkansas right now, right, Little Rock?
Yes, sir.
When did you start doing stand up, or who recognized in you that you was even funny from the get go to even do stand up comedy?
Well, I started with when I was in elementary school, about fourth grade, fifth grade. 10 years old, started working on my jokes and stuff with my PE teacher. He was somebody who was, inspired, to do comedy, but never really, I would say, got that break that he wanted as an adult. So he saw something in me, as a young kid that just had a personality. I would say I had a drive as a child that I wasn't scared. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't scared to speak my mind. I wasn't scared to get on stage and dance. I wasn't scared to go tell a girl I like her. I just wasn't scared. So you take a kid like that and you work with them on how to deliver or how to get their point across, but actually giving them a message is what we used to work on. You know what I mean? Because I was the kid who was really in class telling other kids, bro, Santa Claus ain't real. Like, why is your parent lying to you? I was that kid. So it's like, the schools had to write to my mom, like, he can't be telling these other kids these things because they're going home telling their parents that, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of them things where it was like, well, he knows a lot and he ain't scared. So once we started working on jokes and stuff, and I sent that tape off to BET, they actually declined me because you were supposed to be 18 and older to do Coming to the Stage.
Wow.
They told me I couldn't do it. I wasn't old enough. And one of the ladies, which is Marilyn Gill, she's also my manager now to this day. Marilyn was like, nah, like, give that little boy an opportunity to just get on and shine. Like, even if he get put off, at least we could say that we gave him a chance. So they put me on the very first episode of Coming to the Stage. And, I smacked that whole season out 13 weeks straight because they didn't realize that I was a kid, but I was already a kid who had been in the comedy clubs, who had been working with Mike Epps, who had been working with K-Dub.
Damn, see, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
how did you start developing your material? He was writing material for you, and then you
Yeah, well,
started going to the
basically,
clubs?
basically we was getting together and I was just kind of telling him my life and just different stuff. And he kind of knew how my mom was as far as she's a comedian in her personality. She doesn't tell jokes or anything, but just the way she is funny. So that's why a lot of my jokes was about my mom, because she was the main person I could imitate like anybody else, because I came up single parent home. So she's the only person who I really just knew. I was like, if I don't know nobody else, I know my mama, and my mama is hilarious because for me, it was the pain I was dealing with, getting whoopings, getting my ass whooped every day, but it's the way she did those type of things. And I mean, it's a lot of people out there who dealt with some of the same stuff. Like when you look back at how you used to get whoopings and why you used to get whoopings, half of the time it had nothing to do with you. Like my mom used to whoop my ass because she had to take off work to come to the school because I got in trouble. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
Right.
They could have sent me to in-school suspension, but they called you because they knew you was finna come up here and do that, and you fell for it. So, like I say, I started doing that. We sent that tape off, booked that, went from that straight to Beauty Shop. Got a chance to get my first shine on with the Beauty Shop film.
But hold on, wait. Because see, we go deep dive. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Before we get into all that, when you started doing the stand-up circuit, you said you was, before you even got to coming to the stage, you was already doing shows with Mike Epps and these type people. How did you even get those gigs?
Well, of course, back then we had the Funny Bone everywhere. So they had put a Funny Bone here in Little Rock, and so when they put that Funny Bone here in Little Rock, I used to just get a chance to sneak through the back door just to get me like 5 or 10 minutes on stage, and then they would get me out of the club because they knew that I was too young to be in there. So they just
how old were you? How old were you at that time?
Yeah, I was only 10, 11 years old. I was 11 years old.
Beast.
So they sneaking me in the club, 11 years old, getting me on stage. As soon as I come off, I got to leave. You feel me? And so every time a major act come, oftentimes they wouldn't let me get on stage. They was like, nah, my show's too vulgar and the people this and that. They like, nah, he gonna tear this house up. Let him on. Just let him on and watch what happens. And so that's when Mike Epps saw me, Cat Williams. I mean, all the mainstream big names that, we've done shows with and, got a chance to shake hands with, was coming down and just, seeing me on stage and was like, y'all got to do something with him. But the first thing they kept saying was get him out of Little Rock and y'all got to go to New York or go to LA. You know how that go.
Straight up.
Like, go somewhere else.
Straight up. No, I know about it. So how was your first set? You remember your first set? Nigga, honestly, do you remember? You were so young.
I remember it. I mean, I was young, but it was my first set. So it was an experience that you will never forget, your first time, you know what I'm saying? So, to see how nervous I wasn't as nervous on stage as I was before I got on stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sitting on the side of the stage, seeing other people go up, do their thing, whether it was good or whether it wasn't a good crowd response. I was just sitting on the side nervous, like, all right, man, I'm finna do my thing. And then the nerves will leave because I love performance. So I can't wait now. I'm like, I ain't even thinking about it. But my manager, which was my writer and my PE teacher at the time, he kept coming to me, man, it's a lot of people out there. A lot of people out there. You ready? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm ready, bro. Just call me up. And the first time they called me up, it was like that feeling of like coming through the doors for a basketball game and they like, yeah, now. And I had never had my name called on stage like just about me. I've done talent shows, but this was just a different experience to see people screaming, standing on their feet. And when I rocked it, you know what I'm saying, I came out with the R. Kelly joke. That's when I had the
classic.
R. Kelly took my girlfriend. You know what I mean? And look, fast forward, everybody finally catching on. But
no, straight up. You're like, I've been saying this. I was saying this shit in 03, 07. Shit.
You feel me? So, did that and rocked them out. My next joke, after that, I remember telling my Michael Jackson joke about how Michael Jackson was incredible, like one of the best musicians in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like how he was born a black man and died a white woman. Can't nobody else do that. Right. Can't nobody else do that.
I remember them jokes, man. I remember watching you coming to the stage. And see, that's how I met Justin Mitchell. Because Justin Mitchell was on that show. And while he was on that show, he came to speak to the kids at Clark Atlanta. I was going to Clark Atlanta University at the time.
Yeah.
And that's how we linked up. And that's how I eventually met you for the first time. So how long before you feel like you started killing when it came to stand-up? Was it like an immediate, like it wasn't like you felt like being young was on your side, or you felt like the jokes was there? Like how long before you started like really killing prior to coming to the stage?
I think for me, once I got on stage that first time and I did my second show, by the time I hit my second show, it was kind of like that eager that I can't wait to get back on stage. I want to play again. And so they used to use it against me, like, well, if you get in trouble in school, you ain't gonna be able to go on stage. So that turned me up. It was like, all right, bet. Well, I'm finna be a straight A student because I'm getting on that stage. You feel me? So by my second show, it was the standing O that got me.
Damn.
Like
second show getting a standing O.
First show, I got a standing O. Second, I never knew what it felt like not to get a standing O. So every time I got on stage to perform, if I didn't get a standing O, I felt like it wasn't a good show.
Damn.
That's all I knew is standing O. So I remember the first time I didn't get a standing O. I remember it like it was yesterday. I thought that was the worst stuff in the world, is to not get a standing O. I went to the back of the comedy club and cried. They came back there. They said, bro, you just killed it. What is you crying for? I was like, they didn't stand up and clap like they normally do. I want to go back out there. They was like, nah, it's over with. You did your thing. I was like, nah. I thought them not standing up meant my show was horrible.
And see, people don't realize if you're not a stand-up comedian, getting a standing ovation as a stand-up comedian is one of the hardest things.
The hardest.
It really is, bro. I mean, I've had shows where I've murked. I'm talking about straight destruction, and nobody stood up. I was like, oh, you motherfuckers, I ought to pull a pistol out on y'all. I'm going to go to trunk on y'all ass.
I would have saved that joke. I wouldn't even ended it that way. I thought I was going to end it.
For real, though. Nigga that did a backflip. You're like, hey, nothing. Yes. Fuck y'all then.
Drop the mic. Pick it back up.
Straight up. Hey, straight up though. So
Oh, that wasn't it. I got one more. Last one, and I'm gonna get up out of here.
Hey, that's when niggas start bombing too. When they get greedy, they done said their best joke already. They're like, I got one more. And then that last joke don't go over. You like, fuck. I guess I should have got on 5 minutes ago.
The funniest experience though, if people haven't done it, anybody else watching this, if you ain't never been to the belly room and thought your last joke was gonna kill, and it didn't do nothing, and then you have to be honest with all the other comments in there, like, yeah, I'm gonna get the fuck up off here for y'all. I was doing good at first. I'm gonna go. Yeah, y'all got this one. Y'all got.
I'm gonna tell you a story. This is how I knew.